death per man, 1 diathlete per mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful.
DH, our motto is one team, one flight.
DH?
Eagles! We Eagles soar. We're safe, we take ownership of our actions, we have a great attitude, and we're always ready.
I would like everyone now to stand up straight and tall with pride and dignity as we honor our country by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One thing I like to do every week is read my favorite comic books. Don't get me wrong, I like to read other books too, but I love reading comic books and seeing what my favorite superheroes are up to. But what about you? Do you like reading comic books? Maybe you like playing video games and you have to read what is on the screen to pass on to the next level. No, maybe you like going on the internet and playing games or talking with people. Well, whether you know it or not, you're reading. But what if you weren't allowed to read? I know that sounds like a silly question, but what if it were against the law for you to read? Well, in American history during slavery, African Americans were not allowed to read. It was against the law for slaves to read, or even have someone teach them how to read. This is where the next person in African American history I want to talk about stood up as a leader and an abolitionist. An abolitionist is someone who wanted slavery to be stopped, and they spoke out against people who used African Americans as slaves. Right now, that person I want to talk to you about is one of the most famous African American abolitionists by the name of Frederick Douglass. Known as the most recognized African American leader before the Civil War, Frederick Douglass was born a slave. He never knew his father and was separated from his mother earlier in life. This is where as a slave he moved from plantation to plantation until one slave owner's wife helped him learn the basics of reading. Now, like I said before, at that time, teaching slaves to read was against the law, and when her husband found out, he stopped her from teaching Frederick. Although he didn't have a teacher, Frederick was still smart. Frederick wouldn't be stopped in growing and learning how to read. He watched other white children who learned in school and taught himself how to read later. This got him into trouble because he also taught other slaves to read. When his master found out, he would beat Frederick because he did not want other slaves to learn reading like Frederick did. Frederick eventually stood up to the beatings and one day borrowed the papers of a free sailor and escaped to the North. When he arrived in the North, he found other people who were against slavery too. Like I talked about in the beginning, these people were called abolitionists. Frederick was really good at talking and speaking in front of people, and when he told the abolitionists about how he was treated as a slave, Frederick impressed them. Frederick later wrote a biography about his life. The biography told about everything that he went through in life. Many people read Frederick's biography, but this put him in danger because he was afraid that his master from the South would come to the North and capture him knowing he had escaped. This caused Frederick to escape to Britain. He would return years later once he had made enough money to purchase his freedom. Upon arriving back, Frederick spoke out during the Civil War. When it came to Frederick Douglass, he had respect all the way to the White House. Think about it like this. The president today is Barack Obama. Wouldn't it be cool if you could talk to Obama and he would listen to you? Well, Frederick Douglass had the ear of another famous president who would listen to him. That's right, Frederick Douglass gave advice to President Abraham Lincoln. Frederick convinced Lincoln to give more weapons to African Americans to help fight with the Union soldiers in the Civil War. Now, being a great leader in history, Frederick spoke out against the poor treatment of African Americans in the United States. Many looked at Frederick's life and thought, why didn't he just escape slavery and live out his days in peace as a free man? But that wasn't in the cards for Frederick. This was something that he knew he couldn't do and was not acceptable to just go out and live a free life while others were being treated poorly. So for standing up and speaking out against slavery and the poor treatment of African Americans, Frederick Douglass will always be one of the greats in African American history.
Hi, my name is Carly Sanchez, and I'm here to remind you that Kona Ice will be here after school. Hi, my name is Crystal Linares, and today for lunch we're going to be having chicken teriyaki noodle bowl, hot dogs, seasoned carrots, tater tots, turkey and cheese sub, corn and black bean salad, oranges and apples.